welcome back to the Selector spread across episode 7. That lie is a scar, so it's kind of tells you there's maybe some Akira in here somewhere, but we'll see. And as always, I have Skyline with me.
Hello, everyone.
Yep, we're talking about this episode off air, and we're talking about some things that we kind of liked, some things we didn't like, but as usual. And this episode basically picks up with Lilith kind of talking about Hitoe, how they the plan to catch her and bring Akira, Ruka out. But Akira is kind of getting punished for what she did. I guess Lilith seemed that she could have done it a different way instead of done the way she did, and kind of punishes
Mhm.
Akira a little bit, kind of yells at her, talks down to her, calls her stupid. Not I mean, just basically just tells her she's worthless right now. And
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Blah, blah. That lie is a scar. She mentioned about leaving the scars, deep inside a person, maybe in their heart and their emotions and something like that, hurt their feels. And a lie is pretty much designed to do that when you get right down to it. But yeah, I think she was mostly displeased by just how sloppy when you get right down to it, the entire arrangement was, just find her, grab her, kidnap her, tie her up, and then make Ruko come there. She kind of felt in that moment, not really, but kind of felt in that moment like a Bond villain that is very tasteful. Oh, come now, please. We must do these things within the realms of good taste. This is just awful. I'm so sorry about my subordinate's treatment of you, even though, even though, you know, even though she generally isn't in any way, shape, or form sorry about Hitoe's treatment at all.
Right, it seemed kind of, in my opinion, it's like how else would Akira have done, got Ruko to battle her? It's like
Exactly. She's
there's
not
no other
exactly
way to
the.
do it. So I guess that's why Lilith's kind of giving her a hard time about it. But
Uh,
more on Lilith, I mean, she reveals her past that, like you said, she likes to, I guess, discovered that telling lies and hurting people was her thing that she kind of got off on back in the day. And she liked seeing people fall apart, likes building them up and knocking them down. I think that's what she likes doing. And
yeah,
I think
they.
they even said something that she pushed someone so far they might have killed themselves, I think.
That was, I think, a harken back to. Um, it either might be a harkening back to what Yona did
Hmm.
in the original, because one of the girls was like really sick, and her
Right.
wish was not to be sick any longer, and then she lost her third battle against Iona, and so therefore died of her own illness or something along those lines. So it's probably kind of doubling up on what a really awful duo they were before the switch at the end of Infected.
Right, I mean, I think it is hint that Lilith and Iona were kind of the same. I think she mainly
Mm,
mentioned here that almost the lines of like, you're no different than me type
yep.
thing. So we do learn more about Lilith, like I said, in her past, is she just discarded across battles, and that was her chance to break people even more, like you were saying, to battle them and make them lose their wishes. So that was like
Hmm.
another edge she got. So the cross world she is really wrapped up in. And she's I don't know how many times she's done the battlings, but she sounds like she's done it a couple cycles through. So and she likes being the card or the lyric, so or the I guess selector. So she likes both those roles. So no matter what she's doing, she can inflict damage on someone.
Yes, they certainly did lay that characteristic on incredibly thick.
Yeah, and she kept talking about scars. I'm wondering maybe she had a hand in Akira getting attacked that one time. I think she did.
She has the connections. She
Right.
had the connections to cover up her scar with makeup and to make her feel better about it. So I wouldn't doubt the fact that there was something in there that had that happen to her.
Yeah, 'cause I think back in the back of Akira's mind, she's probably thinking that she's mentioning the scars, and she kept seeing the flashback of when she was attacked, and she didn't really
Hmm.
see who it was. It was a hooded figure. So in her mind, probably she probably could put two and two together that Lilith had something to do with that. But will she betray her? Probably not, because she kind of needs her right now. Or will
Mm.
she? I mean, she's kind of being kicked to the side right now in favor of Ruko.
Oh yeah, that was her villainous blue screen of death right there when the joy that Ulith had in battling Ruko and just you were never that happy with me. You never asked me for a second cup of coffee, kind of moment.
Right. And we get down to the part where she's basically kind of touching all over Hitoe, which is a little weird, but you can't see anything. But we'll see. Talk about that a little bit later. But it comes down to if you want your friend to be safe, you gotta battle me. And Rico kind of gives in, and they kind of have to start this fight, whether they like it or not.
Hmm.
And
Which was
go ahead.
which was something that Tama gave the go-ahead for.
Oh yeah, even Tom was like, "Let's do. We might as well get this over with."
Yeah, she was willing to take one for the team. Hitoe meant a great deal to her as well.
Right. Yeah. And the battle kind of starts, and you would think all would be kind of intense, but Rico and I think Tama kind of both agree that this has to happen. It's like you said, take one for the team, and they kind of fight it out. And Tama, during the end, almost near the end of the fight, urges Rico to hurry and finish the fight fast, and I
Hmm.
guess that pushes Iona to level 5, and they unleash their final attack, but obviously Tama puts up a shield, and they kind of survive that attack.
Yeah, I was almost counting on that kind of being the end game because she would have gotten the shield up, but that would have been the last bit of energy she had to get that shield up. And anything she would have done after that probably would have made her collapse. But something else happens.
So we have Tama and Rico, they do the battle, but before the fight actually ends, Iona kind of recalls a memory that she reveals to everyone that Mayu is actually her mom, along with Lilith. They come from her. So and then Mayu kind of takes it as like you kind of spilled the beans on the biggest plot of the series, so I can't have that, and does a force choke, and like I think she's basically killing Iona is what I would say. She's like dying
That's
on the floor, like rolling around like she's being choked. So I'm like, oh no.
that, that's nothing to laugh at. I just like the way you put that because it just sounds like one of the biggest and worst internet screeds of all time. Spoilers, bitch! What are you doing?
Right. It pretty much is. I mean, Maya's like, the story's not over yet. What are you doing? This is episode 7. We're not done. That's what you've revealed in like episode 10. Not right now.
Oh my
So,
goodness, that's sorry. Yeah, again, I don't mean to laugh. That was just the way you put that was really funny.
no
But
problem.
at this point, I'm thinking, are we talking like literal birth mother, or are we talking metaphorical mother here?
I'm assuming maybe one of them is just, probably one is probably like the daughter. The other one just because he got partnered up with her
Hmm.
and kind of
They well,
shared the same thoughts, maybe.
and they all have the snazzy earrings.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's definitely one thing they do. Because we also noticed it with Tama, she has the same earrings too. So I
Yep.
always wondered that too, if Mayu was somehow related to Tama because they both, wear a bunch of they wear white and they have earrings like that. So it's definitely curious what happens with that. But yeah, I guess. So what do you think of the episode?
Overall, it was completely fantastic. As I said last time we talked about this, in that the first one was pretty good. It was a good reintroduction. The second, third, and fourth episodes were kind of dry and dragging on a little bit. The fifth episode introduced a new wrinkle and new developments into it. But these past two have been absolutely fantastic, especially this one. Just knock down, drag out, good old fashioned Mario Kata, just turning the thumb screws on.
Oh yeah, definitely I agree on that. She definitely took kind of a story that was kind of just kind of slow and kind of you know, dull at points, but like you said, there have been reveals here lately, like episode 5 and 6 and all those, up to this part where they finally are putting Ruko and Tom against each other, which I've been waiting for because, that's been the whole series so far in the
Hmm.
second half. The moment when Akira told them that, oh, Lilith has your card and all this and all that. So it's
Hmm.
been pretty good on that. As far as the actual fight between Tama and Ruko, it was interesting, but you kind of can see where things are going. I mean, we kind of obviously know that this fight's going to get interrupted because of Mayu doing you know, trying to kill her daughter, quote
Yeah,
unquote.
yeah. She seems to want it to go her specific way. As long as it's entertaining, as long as the emotional hooks are in all the characters at once, she's perfectly fine. But when you spill the beans and give away the secret, she gets really ticked off and she decides to break one of her toys.
Right. In a way,
Ugh.
a little bit of a tantrum, you know.
Mhm.
And it kind of shows you that some of the, like Mayu, just like you said, she's in it just to see people fight and basically entertainment for her. She doesn't really care about if someone's getting hurt physically or mentally or whatever.
Mhm.
And extras from the episode, Akira's mental breakdown. She's not feeling so lucky anymore because she's, like I said, kicked to the side. You're worthless. You failed to do what I asked correctly, and now she's just like, well, now she's got a new toy, Ruko. So it's like, now what's Akira gonna do? She's kind of falling apart. Even her card kind of gives her a hard time that kind of makes fun of her. I was like, Wow.
Gives her a hard time, and then right when she's really going into that blue screen of death territory, is somewhat sympathetic.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Somewhat, maybe just temporarily and all that. But then again, we don't know a lot of the personality of that particular card.
Right.
But yeah, I've mentioned that she's the final boss's dragon, Akira. I wonder if she's going to turn into the Starscream.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me think that because she's starting to piece and puzzle together, like the scar that she got, and she's starting to think about it, like if she gets off on people getting hurt, it's like then obviously two and two together, she maybe she's the one that caused me to get hurt, and
Hmm.
well, I'm in the current state I'm in, but it also makes me wonder if she would, kind of use that her feelings for her kind of to that advantage that I'll get close to her, and when she's not least expecting it, I'll get back at her, but we'll see how that goes down. I don't
Hmm.
know if Akira would do that, but
If Ulith allows her to stay around, and if Akira does have the mental fortitude to be able to pull something like that off, so that's a big if to come up.
right, yeah, it's pretty big. And Tama versus Ruko or Tama versus Iona was kind of an interesting fight. Just to see Tama on the other side versus being on Ruko side all the time. So when they
Yep.
fight, it's kind of interesting seeing that fight, but it's obviously gonna be one-sided. I think Tama would probably win the victory in that round, but we'll see what Iona does next week. And lots of
Correct.
crying this episode. I mean, we had a lot of tears from, I think, Rico's side and the other girls because they don't want to see their friends fighting each other, so they're kind of like freaked out by it. But at the same time, I want to say, almost inspired that Rico's, going this far for a friend. So they're like, oh wow, she's really dedicated.
Yeah. The only person who wasn't crying was Ulith, and if she did, they'd be tears of joy.
Pretty much. Funny that Rico noticed her. And the last thing to mention, darkness all around, not just the themes, but overall, I guess, quality of the rip from Funimation. And not that that's a bad thing. I know we should be supporting and buying it, but we're not gonna buy it right now 'cause it's not available. So we gotta watch it this way. But yeah, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but some of the shots are a little darker than normal. So I had to like increase like the brightness of some of the screenshots I used.
Yeah, credit where credit is due. The episode was dark, so it did use a lot of blacks and a lot of shadows in part of its storytelling. But as you said, Funimation drips, and I've seen complaints about this across the web about how they are just really bad when it comes to their scaling and their color, or whatever the technical terms are for it. I make a habit of watching a show as soon as it comes out or not nearly as soon as it comes out on Friday. I watch it on my tablet while I'm waiting for a bus or on the bus ride home. And there was a part in it that was so dark that on first viewing, I thought Ulith punched with her fist Akira. I watched it later on a fan sub encode, and she actually kneed her. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow, if you can't get across a very, very basic piece of information.
Yeah, they definitely need to do something with that. Remember past shows they've done had the same issues that overuse of dark.
Oh,
You always complain, oh, it's the actual video itself, but sometimes it's the actual stream or where you ripped it from. So,
oh yeah.
but yeah, like I said, darkness all around is weird. Like you said, some parts were kind of hard to make out, but yeah, I mean, overall, we don't really need to know what's technically going on. We see it's just Liv kind of talking most of the time, and a carrot laying on the ground, just not having a good time, and you also have Hitoya there, so it's like, it's almost wonder first time watching, are they censoring something? But like, no, it's just the
Just
colors of it. I know.
just Funimation not caring.
Yeah, pretty much. And pretty much that's the episode. So I guess we'll see you guys next week for episode 8. See you guys next time.
Indeed we will. Later.